Yo, damn it. Yo, yo, yo. Salute, salute, salute. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this here live stream. Hitting y'all with this morning paper. Y'all know how I do. Starting your weekday off right. Start your mornings off right with this morning paper, y'all. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. How's everybody's Monday? September 8th, 2025. How's everybody's morning doing? How's everybody's morning going? My morning is pretty good. I just dropped my kids off. So, about to go back to the house and get ready to start my day. Anyway, man, always something. Salute to Stormy B Man and Marcy T in the building early. Salute to you guys. We're gonna get into this bombshell. We're gonna get into this here bombshell, and quite the bombshell it is indeed. Salute to Realize this morning. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but the Speaker of the House, Speaker Johnson, dropped a little doozy on the press when they were talking to him about the Epstein files, and he was talking about Donald Trump and the implications and this and that, and he dropped this information saying that Donald Trump was an FBI informant that helped take down Jeffrey Epstein. And he also talked about how he heard about the rumors when Jeffrey Epstein was at Mar-a-Lago, and how he had Jeffrey Epstein removed from Mar-a-Lago. Now that's nothing new, right? We heard that story before. We heard that Donald Trump found out that he was trying to get with little girls and stuff like this, and so he kicked them out of the party. So this is something that Congressman Mike Johnson said, and there is speculation as to whether or not he let it slip by accident, whether he's put it out there to kind of confuse people, this, that, and the third. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of thoughts surrounding this here situation, and we know that the propaganda branch likes to spread misinformation. They like to confuse people. They like to put information out to kind of stir things up, to kind of distract and all that good stuff, and to get things going and to take your eyes off the prize. And we know that these so-called representatives, they participate in the kabuki theater. All right. Now, the bottom line is there is a list. There is a list of individuals that had dealings with Jeffrey Epstein, right? There are a list of individuals that had dealings with Jeffrey Epstein in regards to, child sex trafficking. Jeffrey Epstein was a facilitator of child sex trafficking. He was a facilitator of the selling of little children, and that is the most important thing we have to focus on. We have to focus on the fact that there is a client list, even though they're telling you there's not. They're telling you there's a client list. They're telling you there's no client list. They're telling you there's no new information that would lead to the arrest or investigation against any individuals on these lists. And then they're telling you, well, Donald Trump is an informant. Now, is Donald Trump an actual informant? Do we believe Congressman Johnson? Do we believe him? I wouldn't be surprised if he actually was an informant. Now, what do we know about informants? Well, there are times when informants, they are basically forced to snitch on their compatriots, to snitch on their co-conspirators because they have gotten caught doing something themselves. A lot of informants, confidential informants, well, they got caught up on some bullshit, and so they end up snitching on their fellow criminals in order to get a reduced sentence, to get pardoned, to get immunity. And you have to question, well, if Donald Trump is an informant, was an informant against Jeffrey Epstein, he obviously had information about Jeffrey Epstein that would lead to his arrest, that would lead to his prosecution, and eventually his conviction. And you have to question, well, how much does Donald Trump know? And how much did he participate in this behavior? Is he an informant because he got caught and they basically leaned on him to snitch? Is he the only one? Does he know the list? Does Donald Trump know who these clients are? These are the questions I'm asking, right? Because we're just supposed to, Senator Johnson says that Donald Trump was an FBI informant, and we're just supposed to roll with that and be like, well, obviously Donald Trump's a good guy. If Donald Trump is an informant, we have to understand at what capacity he was informing, right? Because if it's just because he heard rumors, he wouldn't be a valuable informant, right? If it's just hearsay, oh, I heard rumors, or, people told me these things, or whatever the case may be. If he was instrumental in stopping Jeffrey Epstein and the arrest, guys, am I back, you guys? Please drop a Romeo Lima Charlie if you guys can hear me. Drop a Romeo Lima Charlie in the chat. God damn it. All right, great. Yeah, they basically knocked down a live stream, and anyway, we have to ask ourselves these questions. This Jeffrey Epstein thing is a very big deal, right? Because what we're talking about is the victimization of children to the degree where what's happening to these children, you would not wish it upon your worst enemy. And since children are the least protected class, we have to basically push the importance, right? We got to push how important it is amongst each other. And we got to go to these people and demand that they do something, right? We have to demand that they do something. So if Donald Trump was an informant, and if this would come out in the Epstein files, we need to know. We need to know these things. We need to know, since we believe so much in law and order, right? Not me. Since everyone is so into law and order, and Donald Trump pushes law and order, well then, let the cat out of the bag, right? The cat's already out of the bag. Let's expose the entire thing. Okay, Donald Trump's an informant. Okay, let's let's show that. Put this information out there. Let us see the facts of the case. And let us put away these people that have participated in this nasty behavior. Every time I talk about the Epstein stuff, I say the same shit. Right? Every time some new information comes out, every time we find out this is about this list, that list, Donald Trump's an informant, Donald Trump's on the list, Ghislaine Maxwell dropped 100 names. Oh, they're saying though that the 100 names, there's no information or evidence to incriminate these. Listen, let the public decide for themselves. Let it all come out. Right? They convicted Ghislaine Maxwell and sentenced her to 20 years. 20 years. Not because, she was pimping out one or two women, one or two young girls. No, it was because there was a whole network. There was a whole ring of child sex trafficking where these children are being bought and sold to grown-ass men and women. That's why she got 20 years. They don't give you 20 years for violating children if it's some small thing, if it's minor or if it's low profile. No. There had to have been a lot of victims and a lot of what they call that, a lot of cases, a lot of counts against you, because they do not listen. Let me tell y'all something. For Ghislaine Maxwell to have gotten 20 years, that means there had to be a shitload of victims. They do not give you harsh sentences for violating children. They just don't do it sexually in that manner. They don't do it. You can plead down and get like 4 years. The violation of the children that these people commit, these people that end up on the registry, right? The regular everyday predator that preys on children. Why do you think there are so many of them? Open up Megan's Law. Go online. Go to the Megan's Law website and look up how many of these individuals are in your neighborhood. Why are there so many? There are so many of them because they don't get harsh sentences. They don't administer justice for these children being violated like they should. They don't do it. They give them a few years, or they give them probation, and they put them on a goddamn registry. And that's it. And they give them certain rules. Oh, you can't go online, you can't be by a school, you can't go to a park, right? But these people are still walking amongst us. They still live in your neighborhood. You got children. They don't get harsh sentences, y'all. The justice system is not set up to protect these children and to set an example. The example you want to set is, if you violate children in this manner, you will not live if you are convicted beyond a shadow of a doubt. You do not live 2 or 3 weeks past your conviction date. There's no sentencing necessary, right? Don't even waste taxpayer money having a judge sentence these people. If you are convicted and found guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt, there should be no registry. Depending, of course, right? If you get caught peeing on the building, right, they'll put you on the registry for that. Of course, it has to be an actual violation of children, right? You know what I'm saying? If you go in the bathroom and you expose yourself to children, you need to be dealt with. You need to be put under the ground, right? You don't need to be released back out in the public amongst these children. So Ghislaine Maxwell got 20 years because she helped build a network of sex trafficking and all these different things, massages and whatever they had these children doing. It was a slave network, a sex slave network where these children were put through the ringer, and they were dished out to all these elite class individuals that are on this list. Ghislaine Maxwell got 20 years because of the number of children that were violated under her watch. The number of children that were violated because of her, because of Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell, she did some of the violating herself. So there is information out there that Ghislaine Maxwell did shit too. Well, she's not getting 20 years for those cases. No, she's getting 20 years because of the number of counts, the number of violations that added up. So when we talk about Donald Trump being an informant, is he an informant because he got caught as well and wanted to save his own skin, so he snitched on other people? Or is it because he actually wanted to help put Jeffrey Epstein away because he wanted these children to receive justice and he wanted Jeffrey Epstein to pay for what he did? We can only find out if they release the goddamn files. At what capacity was Donald Trump informing on Jeffrey Epstein, if he was in fact doing that? Are we just supposed to believe the Speaker Johnson, just because he said it? I know that there are MAGA people out there, Trump supporters, that so desperately want to believe that Donald Trump was just standing up for what's right and doing the right thing and for these children and all that stuff. I know y'all want to believe that, but we can't just believe it because some guy said it, right? Okay, you said Donald Trump was an informant and he helped put Jeffrey Epstein away. He helped stop Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, let's find out. Let the files come out. But we have to understand that the entire government is keeping these files hidden, keeping the files from coming out. It's not just the Trump administration. It's the Congress people. It's the judges, right? The judges that keep denying the release of these files because they say they want to protect the victims. There are ways to release these files and still keep the victims' names from coming out. This is coming from every angle, right? The lack of transparency is because the entire government is working together to keep this shit from coming out, to protect these CEOs, these entertainers, right? These bankers, these corporate welfare recipients. What's a corporate welfare recipient? You know, the big corporations that lobby with the government. They lobby in Congress, they lobby in the Senate, and they pay for these people to have things go their way through legislation. And then these congressmen and these senators, they get money for it. They get kickbacks. They get all kinds of benefits from that. These are people who are on the list as well. It's not just entertainers. It's not just government officials. It's the private defense contractors. It's all these people. Lincoln at large says, I think they don't want to give up their blackmail. There is some of that. And it's also, they don't want to get exposed, or they don't want their people to get exposed. This is the largest scandal. This is the largest government scandal in history. It just simply is. And every time we find out something new about this case, we find nothing out. We find nothing out. We get no real new information. It is a shame, right? It's a shame. Because at the same time, our government is violating us on a daily basis. They're giving our money away, right? They're sending our money to Israel so they can continue their genocide. They're sending our money to the Ukraine. They're sending our equipment. They're sending aid. Billions and billions of dollars are flying out of this country every day. Our government borrows money and they extract wealth from us. They put these tariffs out to have everyone believe it's because of the tariffs that we see so much inflation. Oh, the prices are going up because of the tariffs. No. The tariffs are a small part. The tariffs are a small part. The same people that are creating these problems for us, right? For the proletariat class, these elite class motherfuckers. Those individuals that are creating this economic crisis are the same ones that are on that list. The very same. They're on that list. They're driving up inflation. They're blaming it on the tariffs, even though inflation was rising right after the first Trump administration. Prices were going up. When they destroyed hundreds of thousands of jobs, hundreds of thousands of small businesses got eradicated during the pandemic. They want you to think, oh, it's the tariffs. No. The tariffs are an excuse for price gouging. If they put tariffs on imports. Of course they're going to pass the cost to the people, right? That's what they tell you. They're going to pass the cost to the people. Right? They're going to pass the cost to the people. When in reality, the real problem is that the government spending, right? All this government spending is making prices go up as well. And those same individuals that manipulate the market, the same individuals that push the tariffs, including Donald Trump, they are creating ways to fuck up our economy. It's the same people that are on this list. Prices have been dropping, not going up though. Yeah, so in some places, prices have been dropping. Who the fuck is Jim? Hold on, y'all. Anyway. No, not so all the prices are dropping. That's not what I see. See, y'all make these very declarative statements that has no basis in fact. Listen, don't you understand they manipulate? They manipulate the market. They manipulate prices, man. These big food, big pharma, big oil, they manipulate prices artificially. And because we operate on fiat currency, it's very easy to do so. Don't forget all the quantitative easing during the pandemic. All that quantitative easing. Sean Miller says, so when we contradict you, your claim is, well, they manipulate. When you, what did you contradict me on? What are you talking about? The market manipulators, the big corporations, these entertainers, all these individuals, politicians, many of them are probably on that list. They are literally dropping. Anyway, so the fact of the matter is, if Donald Trump is an informant and he helped put Jeffrey Epstein behind bars, okay, you want us to believe that? Then show us the evidence. Show us that. Trump tariffs are like a hidden tax, making everyday goods more expensive for American families. Well, we have to understand that any government activity creates these problems. All the spending, all the quantitative easing, all the money printing, all that shit, all the borrowing our government does, we eventually have to pay for all that. We have to pay for it. And when these corporations don't pay for it, they pass those costs on to us, right? They have to raise these prices because the value of the dollar is trash. It's because the value of the dollar has dropped in relation to precious goods, to actual goods, right? Why do you think gold and silver is going up? Because in relation to gold and silver, compared to gold and silver, the US dollar is tanking. Fiat currency, the way that our government uses fiat currency, the way they manipulate the value of the dollar, is creating these problems. And our dollar being tied to oil is losing its value as well, right? That is also what held up the US dollar, the fact of the petrodollar. Well, when these BRICS nations no longer have to use the dollar to get the oil, what does that do? It devalues the dollar, right? The value of the dollar is going down. That's why prices are going up. In relation to the goods and services, the dollar is going down. Realize says they all on the list, including the Tangerine Man informant, is just another way for him to get out of it. They print so much fiat out of thin air. Not good. Yeah. And here, understand, realize, even if Donald Trump was an informant, doesn't mean that he didn't participate in the behavior. It just means that he decided, okay, I'm going to snitch on I'm going to snitch on Jeffrey Epstein so I don't get in trouble. That's what it could mean. It is what it is, y'all. If this list got exposed, what would we even do about it? If we find out the people on this list, were the CEOs of these corporations, the entertainers, the Congress people and the senators, what would we do about it? What would we do about it? What could we do? Will we allow them to continue to rule over us? Or would we use that as motivation to get the freedom we need? Could we use it as motivation? All right, look, damn, look how corrupt our government is. They're so corrupt that they are victimizing these children in droves. There's no way we should allow anybody like that to rule over us. The true few says you don't want to do what it takes to get freedom. Do you even know what it takes to get freedom? Timoon says supply and demand, prices increase, big farming in U.S. controls supply and demand, fixed pricing. You can stop buying items made in Asia, use less petrol, consume less. I agree. And the things that are going up in price, do we actually need that shit? Cereal, soda, sugar shit, processed foods, do we even need that? Do we even need to consume the type of shit that these prices are going up on? I'm not making a lick of sense. Then why are you here? I don't understand y'all. The truth, you asked if I'm registered to vote. Absolutely not. I don't vote, homie. Yeah, see, you got me fucked up. That's what it is. You think I'm a statist. No, I'm not. I don't vote. Voting is submission. Somebody tells me to take my meds. I'm not on meds. Okay, Sean Miller asked why I keep talking out my ass. He obviously doesn't want to be here. Salute. Arrivederci. As a trucker that lost everything, I truly see a very hungry America. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're not as hungry as the people in Palestine, right? We're not as hungry as people in the Gaza Strip. Listen, we don't have to be hungry, though. We don't have to be hungry. We don't have to be hungry. We don't need to rely on monocropping and the food supply chain that they provide for us. We don't even necessarily have to do that. I don't get like my meat. I don't get my meat from the supermarket. I get it from a rancher down the road. I get my eggs from a chicken farm down the road. I get my fruits and vegetables from the local general store, and they get their shit from the farmers. If I wanted to, I could go fishing. I could go hunting. There's plenty of deer. There's plenty of animals to hunt out this way. We don't necessarily have to be hungry. I can get raw milk, raw cream, and all these different things from the local rancher. Tap in to those networks. Tap into the networks where, you can get locally raised animals. You can get locally grown fruits and vegetables. You can do that. You can. Because the people, listen, if this list comes out, it's going to change everything. It should change everything when this list comes out. They so desperately don't want you to see what's on this list. They are all working together to keep it from coming out. Even though they're pretending like they're fighting amongst each other for it to come out. The True Few says the list has been out for years. Where can we find the list, the True Few? All right, salute, man. Get out. You go on ahead. Gonna go to another chatter now. All right. Arrivederci. Go on ahead. It'll never come out. And what does that tell you? Now, if the list never comes out and the entire government, everybody within government is fighting to keep the list from coming out, the judges, the so-called representatives, the DOJ, if they're all working to keep the list from coming out and they're acting like they're fighting amongst each other to keep the list from coming out and they're making all these excuses and the list never comes out, what does that tell you? Oh, they will absolutely edit it. And if a list comes out, will it be the real list? Will it be a real list? Family Guy asked, what's the list got to do with higher prices? Well, I was telling people that the people on this list, there are people on this list that operate within or around government to manipulate prices, to manipulate the market. It's all market manipulation. Yes, the farmers market is an option, even though they're working hard to shut down ranches, to shut down farms that operate independently. Uh, they're doing whatever they can. It is what it is. And we have to work within a network that is for our own best interest. I found this matter of fact, I found this group on Facebook I'm gonna tell you all about. Apparently, they have a network of like-minded people that work towards homesteading and operating off the grid and all this other type of shit. I forgot the name of damn, wild something. Yeah, I'll find it later. I don't remember. I was just looking at it this morning. But basically, the group is headed up by this guy who bought some land and, you know, bought some land and is working on being off grid, put up solar panels, bought land animals and all this stuff, and just trying to. He is building a network of people of like minds that are trying to be self-sufficient. Obama's probably on the list. Probably. Realize says they all act in playing roles like a movie script. Behind closed doors, they're all laughing all the way to the bank. I truly think we're paying these crooks, politicians, bills. I don't trust them. Yeah, that's absolutely what we're doing. Yes, we pay their bills, especially if they're government. And if they are politicians, we are paying their bills. We're paying their salary. We're paying for their overhead. We're paying for their houses. We're paying for all their bills. We're paying for all their expenses when they fly around the world and they fly around the country. We pay for all that. We're paying for them to have power over us, and we're also paying for them to be able to go and do these nasty things to children. Family Guy is, why is it a shock prices are going up when Trump is in office? Prices been going up every year for the last 100 years. Well, yeah. But inflation is natural. Inflation is a real thing. But, of course, inflation is going to occur, but at a certain percentage that's manageable. That's manageable for the people, right? Like if it's a couple percent, you know, maybe 0.5% a year, 1% a year, prices go up gradually so that and salaries go up as well in tandem to kind of help manage it. But when inflation goes up 8 to 10% in 1 year, and in some cases 20%, well, that's when it becomes unmanageable, and that's why we're in this position today. Inflation really started going when Biden was in office within the first few months because some of the executive actions he was taking, right? But of course, we don't want to talk about that. So in the first year of him becoming president, I think the inflation was like 8%. 8% in the first year. Whereas when Trump was in office for the first time, it went up like 1%. Again, this shit is manipulated to give you the impression that when a certain person is in office, certain things happen because that person is in office. So what they want you to do is get behind this idea that if you vote every 4 years, you can make changes for the better. So now it's Trump's tariffs causing all this economic disparity, right? Causing all these economic issues. So when you go to vote for another president, they can present someone to you that will help mitigate all these problems that Trump put in place, right? Kind of like when Obama came in and we had that the market crash, right, in 2008, due to the housing practices, due to all that shit, you know. Again, another fucking manipulative tool, right? right? With what they were doing with the housing market and these predatory loans and all this other shit. It all caught up, right? The housing bubble burst due to the practices of the housing market, within the housing market. Okay, so, well, the bubble burst, and then, they a lot of people blamed it on Bush and all these different things and all these Republicans. And so, oh, well, Obama can come and save the day. And what did he do to save the day? He bailed the banks out. He bailed the banks that created the problem out. He bailed the banks out. That's what he did. And when he did that, it appeared to correct certain things, right? It corrected certain things. People were able, the prices dropped, right? Housing prices dropped, and people were able to buy homes more readily. These are things they do in cycles to give you the impression that having government in place is a real thing, and that it's up to you to determine how the country goes, because you got to go vote for somebody to rule over you. Of course, they're going to make it appear that when a certain guy's in office, certain bad things are going to happen. So now, or the next time, we have to go with the opposite. We got to go with the guy that does everything against what this guy does to make things better. Stormy B-Man says the thing of predatory aggression against children is deeper than people realize. From health and beauty science and medicine to our food chain, it's disgusting assault. And even the Bible speaks of this. Absolutely. The assault on our children isn't just sexual. It's in the food it's in the food that they provide. It's in all the marketing to children, right? What do they market to children nowadays? What can you find on TV shows and cartoons? Y'all remember Netflix was putting out that movie Cuties with the little girls and all that other stuff, and they want you to watch little girls twerk all day? They want you to see two boys kissing. They have a cartoon where two uncles are getting together and getting married and all this silly shit. They are attacking our children from many different angles. Like I said, our children are the least protected class. Stormy B-Man is absolutely correct. The assault on our children is not just through overt, sex trafficking, right? They want to corrupt your children through with these screens, what they put on YouTube, what they put on Netflix, right? All that other shit. And they don't want you to raise your children. They want the screens, they want these TV shows, they want all this to raise your children, right? They don't want you to any longer socialize your own children, right? They want to do that themselves. Buttock Chin. No, the two uncles got married in that one show, that one little cartoon. Yes, we were responsible for our own children. But they don't want us to be responsible for our own children. They don't want us to be responsible for our own children. They want to be they don't want us to be responsible for our own children. Stop blaming the other party. This shit is gross with this administration. Blaming the other party? Who blamed any other party? Who is they? Who is they? Guess who they is? Yes, we are responsible for our own children. Anyway, so the fact of the matter is, who? I've been telling you guys for this entire live stream. The elite class. The elite class. Have you heard of adrenochrome? Yes. I have heard of adrenochrome that they extract from the youth, and they try to live as long as possible. They think it gives them some type of power It's some type of energy. It's like a fountain of youth to them. Stem cells too. Stem cells. They use uh, little baby boys' foreskins, all this type of shit. They harvest organs from children. Adrenochrome. These people are sick. These people are sick. Stop with my conspiracy nonsense. What conspiracy nonsense did I? What conspiracy nonsense? Realize says there are many movies from back in the day that Sandra Bullock, Celine Dion. These people are sick as hell. I know they are the seed of. Oh, they're all sick. They're all sick. They all. It's about power, and it's about maintaining youth. They think if they prey on children, they're going to stay young longer. This is what they believe. They believe that if they harvest energy from children. They harvest energy. They think that they can stay young, and they think they'll stay in power. They think there's a power in corrupting the innocence of children. Lust rules their lives. Power is really just about power. They harvest adrenochrome. They harvest their energy. They harvest their energy, and they think it's going to give them everlasting youth. They don't want to die. These people don't want to die. I saw something about. I don't even want to talk about it. I got to go look at it. Look it up. They want to live forever. They don't want to die because if they die, they lose their power. If these people die, they lose their power. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't understand it. They all want to be vampires, yes. Even through spirits, they said they send and feed off people. Yes. Realize said, why do you think they all adopted from brown babies back in the day? I found it to be really strange making kids change sexes. Just crazy as shit. They don't want to die. They're going to hell. Yeah. They don't want to die. Yeah, the Rothschilds, all these people. Laura Burris thinks that we're actually talking about literal vampires. That's not what we're talking about. Be Wise Open Eyes says the Trump is skinny now. It's weird. Yeah, these people. I think The Rock was probably he just went all psycho. He went all psycho and probably went to a more of a TRT dose. And so he lost a lot of muscle mass. But these people are sick. All I'm saying is, wouldn't it be opposed to Freedom's March giving? Y'all are weird as hell. Let me get you out of here. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time for the homoeroticism. Stormy B-Man says that's why so many have aged so rapidly, overwhelmed past 2 years. During Modelo 19, Trump shut down a great deal of that quiet is kept. Yes, absolutely. Ellen DeGeneres, Tom Hanks, all these people. Yeah. I remember thinking that as well. It's crazy. You think The Rock was on Ozempic? Ozempic is another issue. It's like no one wants to do hard work anymore. If you want to lose weight, you don't want to cut calories and change your diet, change the way you eat, move more, exercise more. You don't want to do that. You want to take a pill or get an injection and magically have the weight melt away? Keith Jr. says they don't need children in order to live several lifetimes. They have treatments for that. That treatments with substances that are derived from children. Do you know what they are doing in Planned Parenthood with some of these fetuses? Just do a little research on what Planned Parenthood is doing with the fetuses of the abortion victims. Just look that up. Look that up. They're selling these fetuses on the black market. Just so y'all know that. They put yeah. Y'all might want to look up what some of these treatments come from. Some of the stem cell research, CRISPR, what they are using for this medical technology to have people live longer, where that comes from. Revelation right now says, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne's wife and daughter look horrible after. Yeah, I mean, they look like trash. They look like crackheads, to be honest with you. Yeah, Margaret Sanger, evil. Yeah, Margaret Sanger. Yeah. We have to understand that our children are very valuable to these people, and not because they love children. No, because they want to use children. They want to extract wealth. They want to extract youth from children. They think children are like, it's sick. It's sick. And they just have sexual deviancies that they want to take out on children as well. So it's a lot of different things. Raphael Pierce says, nah, you look up that, bro. Shut down this clown. And how about y'all do some research? I've done research on this stuff. I've done research on the things that I talk about. I'm just talking about it here. But you guys can go look it up as well. Don't come in my chat complaining about research when you go do the research your goddamn self. Do the research. I've done shows where I've showed studies. I've showed the research I've done. I've showed those things. Stormy B-Man says that's why those celebs hate him. Look at Tom Cruise and Robert Downey Jr. They both aged 15 years. Oh yeah, it's hey man, they are going to the ends of the earth to live forever, and it's sapping them. Right? It's going to come back to haunt them and bite them in the ass. At the end of the day, these tyrants, these demons, these evil people that are preying on our children, that are preying on us, that are preying on our livelihoods, that are preying on our freedom, at the end of the day, they will pay for it. They will pay for it at the end of the day. Story B-Man says, I'm the same age. Yeah, I can't believe that you're, yeah. No, they look 20 years older than you, Stormy B-Man. Shit. Salute to Coach Hudson. Coach Hudson is in the building. Make sure y'all drop y'all links, Stormy B-Man and Coach Hudson, if you guys want some good boxing talk. Now, there are celebrities and whatnot my age that look way older than me right now. What's her name? Ariana Grande. She was on Ozempic or some shit. She looked like she goddamn 80 years old. I'm trying to tell you, they will not win. They will not win. At the end of the day, they will not win. Realize says they said it in that song back in the day. We are the world and we are the children. I feel hidden messages. Yes. We are the world. We want your children. Yeah. They want our children. The biggest scandal in U.S. history involves the victimization of children. Think about that. We're talking about a list of names of people that participated in these parties, these massage parties, that going to this island. These are people that are of a certain class that have access to this stuff. a certain level of power. Jeffrey Epstein was a power broker who provided children to these individuals and had evidence of it, had a dead man switch and all that shit. But they found the dead man switch. They found the results of what were triggered by the dead man switch. Yeah. Yet we're still stuck on this left-right paradigm lie. Just because someone said Trump was an F doesn't make it true. Jay Thayer, if you were paying attention, yeah, I know that. I said that myself. I said exactly what you said. I'm not just going to believe the Speaker of the House because he said it. Okay, if Donald Trump was an informant, release the files and let us see. Let us see it. Show us how he, in fact, helped put Jeffrey Epstein away. Show us. What did he provide you? What evidence did he provide you to the degree where Jeffrey Epstein got locked up for it? And what happened to make Donald Trump become an informant? Because like I said earlier, informants become informants in different ways. I don't, Stormy B, man, but I need to look that up. Do I know the history of the famed Atlanta child murders? I do not. I do not. I have to say I haven't heard of that one. Newbie said Newsom just had a bill passed giving anyone who fills out a form saying which kid they want to take the child without notifying the parent. Yeah, and that's another thing they're doing. They're taking away our they're taking away the parents' control over their own children. They don't want you to have any control over what happens to your children. They want to be able to take away your rights as a parent. But unfortunately, we gave the state government part ownership of our children when we gave them the birth certificate. And then we gave the federal government part ownership when we got them a social security number. It just is what it is. Just like when we get married in a certain state, we get a marriage certificate. Well, our marriage is now, if we're married, if we have a state marriage certificate, our marriage is now being controlled and overseen by the state. So if we decide that we don't want to be together any longer, well, we have to go through the government. We have to go through the state government to allow us to no longer be together officially. Right? Or you could just not be together and not try to get a divorce. But if you encounter someone that you want to get married to, guess what? You got to get state permission to get married to another woman. You got to get state permission to get married to somebody. Stormy B, man, salute, man. Yeah, absolutely. Drop your email in the chat. I will give you my email. It's I think you have my email. It's snapzillagorilla@gmail.com. But drop your email in the chat and I'll definitely look you up. We'll definitely do that. But I got a plan, you guys, to make this more official. I got a couple people that I want to collaborate with and bring you guys this information in this news. They co-opted the rainbow. We can't enjoy rainbows no more without thinking about that stuff. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get on out of here. They'll tell you anything, right? He's an informant, but he tells you it's a hoax. They'll tell y'all anything to create confusion. This is all about creating confusion and taking our eyes off the prize. The prize is the individuals in those lists. I believe Ghislaine Maxwell when she dropped those 100 names. And I believe Ghislaine Maxwell when she gave up the names before. She gave up names. I believe her. Even though she's the one that recruited these young ladies, these little girls, I'll say. And imagine, she cooperated. She cooperated and got 20 years, y'all. It takes a lot to get 20 years when it comes to child sex trafficking. That's just the real talk. They do not issue hard sentences for people that violate children. They just do not do it. Like it would have to be so egregious. It had to be murders involved. It would have to, you would have to have a whole bunch of violations, of different children. It's just how the justice system works, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alfred Kinsey. Look him up, Alfred Kinsey. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm spelling his name right. Alfred Kinsey. Because it's very important to know these things. Why do these people get off so easily when they violate children? And then they get out. They get out of prison and they get put on a list. And they might only be in prison for 1 or 2 years or 3 years, or they might just get a 6-month probation. But they got to sign the registry. Every time they go somewhere, they got to put on the registry. Alfred Kinsey. Alfred Charles Kinsey was an American sexologist. He founded the Institute for Sex Research in Indiana University, now known as the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex. He is best known for writing Sexual Behavior in the Human Male. Yeah. Now, he operated in the 40s and 50s. And it had to do with him. What he did was, all right, this is what he did. What he did was he basically did experiments where he got grown men to violate children, and then came up with this idea that the children weren't being violated, that the children were actually getting off on what these grown-ass men were doing. Okay? That's what he did. Look it up. It's very sick. That's what he did. He was a sexologist whose focus was on basically children. Basically, it's crazy. Very crazy. But you know, y'all, Alfred Kinsey. Y'all look him up. Kinsey. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Look up the Kinsey reports. Very disgusting. Just anyway. Y'all stay up, man. Y'all stay up. Y'all be safe. Keep an eye on your children. Protect your children at all costs. They are the most valuable, precious thing on this earth, yet they are the least protected. And it's up to us to protect our children. At the end of the day, whether you hate Republicans, hate Democrats, love Democrat, it doesn't matter. Our children need to be first. Anyway, y'all stay up. Much love, like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out and keep marching forward toward freedom and protect our goddamn children. Peace.